part 1, part 2, authoritarianism, free will, human rights, all these things. What does that get into data? At the end of the day, what does this mean for data? Why would you and I talk about these things, which seem outside of the realm of what we're doing, but naturally it leads to what we are doing?
Because the tech that we're creating at TARTLE gives individuals freedom.
That's because it is a technology. How we should have been designing technology.
Yes.
One that actually empowers human beings.
Use that word, empower.
Empowers.
Not the government, not the state, not a tech company, but the who?
The human being.
The people that are listening to this, the individual.
That are listening to this, using the TARTLE technology, it is an empowerment tool.
Right.
It is a tool for emancipation of whatever is going on. It is designed for that evolution, for that upbringing, uplifting of the human being.
And I want people to think about this. Everybody knows about gold.
I know gold.
Everybody knows about gold.
Gold is best.
So let's say you owned a piece of property. Even if you don't, maybe you're renting, maybe you're living on the side of a building or whatever. You've made a cardboard box or whatever, but you have a cell phone, however it is.
Something over your head.
But so that's kind of your place where you live.
Yep.
Let's say you had a gold bar.
Okay.
And you've been storing it, and this is like yours. Mm-hmm. It's your property.
Sure.
You own this gold bar.
Correct.
You have it, and anytime we have gold in our possession, it belongs to us.
Yep.
We can go raid another village, go grab all their gold. We used to do this, and then it becomes our gold.
100%.
So if you're holding it and physically in your hands, it's your gold.
Yeah.
So what if a tech company, a government comes and says, that's my gold, I'm taking it. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay.
This is what people don't
talk about the Department of Justice.
How pissed off would you be? Pissed off, I'm using the right word. How pissed off would you be if somebody grabbed your gold?
You'd be upset because you thought, because it's in my hands, it's under my control, it's my right, my property.
Right. So the problem with big data is they're doing that to you.
All the time.
They're taking your gold
and
every single day.
You don't even see it. No. It gets plucked out of your hands constantly.
Right.
And the only time you hear about it is when someone falters and it ends up in the news.
Yes.
When someone falters and you start getting these calls or charges to your bank account because someone has broken in and stolen your information.
But it happens every day.
It happens all the time. And how many people tell you about it?
Yeah,
very little.
They just send out a quick little email apologizing.
And guess what?
Change your password.
We don't need to be reactive.
No.
Laws don't have to be written in blood.
No.
We can think about it logically ahead of time, design the technology, and protect these things as they should be protected.
Because big data, right now, I say it's the automation of oppression.
It is the automation of oppression. They're using massive amounts of information, right, to analyze,
right,
so that they can come back and then see if they can control further to squeeze some sort of resource out of a human being.
The word control. Who gets to control the data?
Oh, the people that are aggregating it and taking it. They are the ones that are controlling it.
So, Big Brother?
You could, yeah, that Big
what
Brother.
Do you want to call it Big Brother?
Yeah, go ahead.
Big Tech Brother?
Yeah. And I want to be abundantly clear here. They are not the enemy. They have just been allowed to do these things because we have not engineered a solution in the past to prevent this from occurring.
No, they're just wanting shareholder profit. That's all.
They're just looking at it for profit.
They're looking at it as a corporation.
So when we step in, we're like, wait, hold on a second. Wait a minute.
I don't think there's any nefarious thing to.
No.
I think it's all about making money.
They want to make money. So what we're saying is let's step in here. Let's give you access to deeper information, deeper insights, quality. We can allow these businesses or researchers to establish a relationship directly with the human being that generates that information and fairly compensate that individual for the work they are creating. That is a level of respect which is many, many notches beyond where we were before.
But people don't realize in power, use that word, we use the word power too. People do not realize that Big Tech Brother can't grow if you don't feed it data.
That's correct. If they are not fed data, they can't make their decisions.
Right.
The whole future of industry, okay, is based on data. Go to the World Economic Forum.
Yes.
That's all they talk about is data. So if you choose not to share it with them, maybe, for instance, if we all want to take a stance against a corporation and say, we're not sharing anything with you, then don't. So they have to change their ways.
So if we could put an alien in a cage, or we could put King Kong
I'm not
in a cage.
putting any aliens in cages.
Well, it's going against their free will. Yeah, yes. So aliens are King Kong.
If King Kong walked in the cage and locked himself in there we go. Okay, go ahead.
No, but I'm just saying, if they were put in a cage and they were not allowed to receive any type of substance, food, water, or whatever aliens may want, drinking mercury, who knows?
Okay.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
But they weren't allowed to have any of that. What happens with Big Tech Brother? What happens when you starve them of their data.
They naturally have to come to you and ask you for
no matter how big they are. King Kong's huge.
Massive.
Big. Did you see that?
All things require energy, right?
Did you see the picture of them operating on that gorilla?
No.
You got to look this up. We got to show people. This is
well. Hold on,
dude. It looks like King Kong. Just type in "operating on gorilla."
Okay.
You'll see it, dude. It's unbelievable pictures. How jacked gorillas are and how big they are. You don't realize this. You see them on the table.
Holy smokes!
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's insane.
They were helping him.
You don't want that to wake up.
No.
But oh my gosh, that's frightening. So, but consider this.
Right.
Everything requires energy. It
Yes.
requires sustenance. People think, the mass majority think, actually, they believe that corporations require energy to survive.
Mm-hmm.
They do not. You can throw money at something all day long, but if it does not have information to act upon and spend that money, nothing occurs.
Yes.
Information is the energy source for decision making.
100%. So let me ask you this.
Yes.
How can we practice privacy with TARTLE?
How can we practice it?
Yes.
Practice number 1, sign up. How do we practice it as maybe a larger resource holder, like a company? How do we practice it? We can practice it by respecting privacy of others. Mm-hmm. We can go and ask them for that information. Consent is key. The key is consent. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and then encryption. Encryption is another way that we can, in our online life, we can practice encryption.
Why do we encrypt stuff? We encrypt it because some people or individuals, whatever they might be, or extraterrestrial entities, may be a negative player.
Right.
Maybe they just want to access that information. They're like, we don't respect your right to privacy. We just want to go look at it.
Right.
In the event, Jason, someone gets access to something you didn't authorize.
Yes.
Encryption is that last resort to protect that information if it is taken off of a server illicitly for whatever sort of reason.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I want people to understand this because I want to help people understand this. So, I mean, TARTLE is a far greater tech tool than Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But I want, because a lot of people may, if they're techie, they may understand Bitcoin. So I want to compare the two tech. I want to compare TARTLE, Bitcoin in the sense of, we know Bitcoin answers this question. We know, even though all the elite are going to end up owning Bitcoin, that the 1% are going to own it all.
When we say elite, people that have the resources to buy Bitcoin.
To be able to buy Bitcoin, yeah. It goes to 250,000 a coin. They'll be like, oh, that's fine. I got billions.
No problem. I got plenty.
Yeah, and then it'll grow, and then the value, because there's only so many of them.
And then someone will short it, and then it'll grow again.
Yeah, so governments don't know what to do with Bitcoin.
Nope.
The financial industry doesn't know what to do with it. They're at a loss. They're asking questions.
It's not the coin, though, bro. You know this.
Yes, yeah. It's the technology behind it.
It's the technology behind it. The reason they don't know what to do with it is because it removes the control out of their hand and gives it to human beings on the outside.
Ooh, just like
TARTLE. To make decisions for themselves.
Just as TARTLE.
Just like TARTLE.
And so that's the comparison I want people to see. Bitcoin's encrypted.
Yep.
To the hilt, to the max.
Yeah, 256-bit.
Yeah, so in that sense, and so far no one's been able to touch it, as far as like hack it or anything like that.
No, and it's on a ledger, a chain. There were natural inefficiencies in the design of that technology. The idea of it, though, that was the most threatening thing. Right. It was the idea. But that idea catalyzed other people to be like, wait a minute, how can we advance upon this idea of technology? Mm-hmm. And every time that idea is advanced upon, it brings more power back to individuals over their own sovereignty choice.
So let me ask you this. Do you think any government could stop Bitcoin?
No, it can't. The only way you can shut it off, right, is I got to shut all the internet off, which means I have to close down all the servers at once. And the only way you could do that is with a coronal mass ejection from our local sun, okay, that comes over the earth, and that electromagnetic radiation and the rest of those photons blast the stuff and fry all of our electronics. And the only other way you could possibly maybe prevent that is to put it underneath the Earth's crust and shield it. So, in any way, no government could shut it all down.
Can we have a fun fact about photons real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a really fun fact. They are at the speed of light, right?
Yeah.
And they're just constantly working at the speed of light. They're not in time.
No.
Because they're operating at the speed of light. It's such an example for me and me working. I wish I could work as good as a photon works.
At the speed of light. Well,
yeah, and then I wouldn't be worried about time.
But Jason, they have one job to do.
Yeah. Well, I only have one job to do.
Yeah, you do. You have one job to do, and that's to evolve. Cool thing about photons, too, right? They have a very minimal weight, right? And they are the basis for just about everything we see.
Yes.
So the entire structure of our universe is strictly based on photons, which are packets of light. And within that light has information.
So let me ask you this. Government can't stop Bitcoin. Can government stop TARTLE?
Yeah, they could come and kill us.
Yeah. But
like hands down. They could come and kill us, or someone could try and subpoena us.
Right.
Right? Or, they could, ban us from our servers that we have, which we, lease from other individuals.
Right.
The only way we could try and, prevent something like that is to have backups upon backups, ones that are land-based and ones that are sky-based.
But I don't see, unless it's an extreme authoritarian regime.
You know what it is?
I don't see
I'll clarify.
Government. I don't see a government wanting to go after TARTLE though.
No, and I'll clarify. The more people that join TARTLE, the stronger the idea becomes.
Yes, here we go. This is what
so with that, there is a massive army of support. And so if you are looking...
Data champions.
All over the world.
Yes.
222 countries of data champions. It's incredible. And I support every single one of them for what they're doing, for their own emancipation of whatever situation they are currently in, the way they give towards not-for-profits, right? The way that they are trying to make a change, the amount of time they spend listening to you and I talk, okay? This is a unification of mankind. And anyone that would want to step against that, okay, you are directly stepping against the people you think you are supporting.
Well, you're going against, in theory, you're going against evolution.
You're going against evolution. You're going against the free will of people across the entire globe.
And you're deciding to take centralized power instead of decentralizing it and empowering your people, because as a government, let's say even though you're kind of authoritarian, we'll use the Philippines, for example, the president's kind of authoritarian or pretty much. So let's say Manny Pacquiao is supposed to be running. They're supposed to be serious, and he'll win 100%. This guy that everybody loves now, they love Manny Pacquiao more.
Okay.
So Manny Pacquiao has to worry about his life right now.
Yeah.
Because at any moment...
Can I survive up to the election?
So when we look at Manny Pacquiao, and I would love to have a conversation with him how we can help the Philippines once he gets elected.
Yeah, no problem.
And I put that out there if anybody in the Philippines knows him.
Feel free to introduce.
Have a podcast. But I'm telling you, Manny Pacquiao could come to us and say, how can I help poverty in the Philippines? How can TARTLE help? There's
Step one?
300 million people in the Philippines?
Step one, ask the people in the Philippines.
Yes.
You're impoverished. Can you find your next meal? Here's an interesting fun fact right here, and I'm going to give you some hardcore data. Our user base, 80% of it, 80%, okay, lives on less than $2.70 US dollar a day. 46% of our users worry about finding their next meal. Think about that. We have so much focus, so much loose money flying around everywhere, right? And so much focus on all these things that really don't matter. People can't look to the future if they're worried about the next couple hours and where their meal is going to come from.
Yeah, that's so powerful.
This is not bullshit data in any way, shape, or form. I random sample this all the time. These numbers are consistent. So if we're talking about long-term impact, if we want to understand poverty, if we want to understand where the pain is, we have to go ask those people. We really need to know for a fact what is going on in their life.
And the best way to do that is?
Through TARTLE.
And so we encourage, if you're in the government, in any government, we would love to have a conversation with you.
100%. We would love to show you a bridge to the people of your nation.
Yes.
That otherwise are having a hard time getting their voice out there. Because when they are heard, there is an awareness. And through that awareness, action can occur. That's how it happens. You cannot educate yourself on what is going on unless you have the facts presented directly in front of you.